When? Okay, this is February 26, 2019, at approximately 7:05 PM. This is the sitting of the Sutton Town Historical Commission, and we have 4 members present tonight. So let me mark that down. Could be 5 in a sec. Nope, still 4. And our opening meeting is, first on the agenda is the approval of minutes. I handed minutes out to the members present. Our clerk is unable to attend tonight. He had a prior engagement, and Donna is not present. I perused these prior to the meeting, and it seemed appropriate from what I read. When you guys read them, you can let me know. And I think everyone can vote on it tonight here.
Except for Wally.
I can't.
Oh, yeah, Wally can't write. That's right, sorry, Wally.
Looks okay to me.
You are out of state.
I was in California. You know.
Yeah, I remember, I listen. I'm a caring
Yeah.
guy. Okay, any motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion to accept
Okay,
minutes from January.
okay, motion on the floor, seconded by
Seconded.
Michelle. All those in favor of approval of minutes dated January 22nd, 2019, of a 2-page minute? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none. Minutes pass.
I abstain.
Yeah, and you're out.
I'm out.
No Wally vote. Okay, I will sign these. You have them submitted. Okay. Next is a public forum. Now, we have in the room a gentleman that's a potential member, Mark Brown, but other than that, that's our public, so we have no public hearings. And we get right into board business, and there really isn't a lot as usual. Now, lately, last few years, we've been a little slow, but last meeting, Mark came, showed interest to be a member, reached out to town clerk via an online application. Little lost in the shuffle for a week or so, but we got it all squared away. You're to go March 19th,
Yes.
which is a Tuesday night, right?
Yeah.
So let me just write that down. And I will try to attend. If any other members can, that would help.
Is this in front of the select?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
March 19th. Mark. Selectmen. It's pretty, it's easy. But they'll ask you a few questions, and then obviously your interest will be enough to,
Simple
Like that.
questions like Red Sox and Yankees.
yeah. So with the correspondence with the town clerk, I had to remember who our alternates were and members. Obviously, I'm chair, but she explained to me that there is 5 members and 2 alternates. And you're still an alternate.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised. I had to stop for a second. And I don't know why, and I thought you had gotten in, but it was actually Paul who took Jonathan's spot, correct?
I don't know what spot I took.
Oh yeah, you weren't here when Jonathan, right?
Well, I was here with Jonathan.
Yeah.
I was on fall.
But he was an alternate.
I came in right after Lori, I think.
Mhm. Well, yeah, maybe it was, no, but Lori was, oh,
No, Laurie was here.
She came slightly before me, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
he probably took Laurie's place. Fenari.
so we're gonna look into that a little deeper.
What,
I
he
don't
get
know.
you on here full time?
I don't
Not
know,
that it
I had to
matters,
go
'cause
and
you-
ask for the papers just to show that I was a member of the commission. As it was, they never did
They didn't?
well, they finally got it to me. It was after I waited 6 months. I wanted to give them time,
Mhm.
didn't want to pressure them. And then they didn't know what I was talking about.
I guess we can have 3 alternates.
Well, we only have one right now.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, so.
So we can at least have two.
Mhm.
That's, you know.
And I'm gonna talk to Donna, cause Donna hasn't really, been able to attend, she has some issues, and then she has work, and so maybe we can do a swap out, you know, get her an alternate and you in the spot. If that's all right with you.
Yeah.
So. 5 + 3. I'm taking the minutes tonight too, I'm sorry. Okay. So, you're on track. Would love to have you. If I can go that night, if we, you know, I can, I will. Sometimes Tuesdays are tough for me, so that's why sometimes I do it the 3rd night or the 3rd week or the 4th week, depending on my work. And then sometimes on the 3rd week, it's packed in here. We ended up years ago in the kitchen. Not that I don't like the kitchen. I like the kitchen. But probably not to have a meeting in, if we can help it. So that's where we stand. You're on track. I think everything will be a go. You met Jen. You know Jen anyway. Did you know? Yeah. Yeah. So, and Jim as well tonight. So that's all good stuff. Any other input on that? Okay, so that's our open discussion. Actually, that was our open position. That was BA. There was, I kind of did the swap. My mistake. I thought you guys were more of a priority. Nothing else on open position availability? All right, how about open discussion updates? Wally, you got anything? You said you went down to the Blackstone Bridge?
Yes, I went down to the Blackstone Bridge and I noticed that they've done quite a considerable amount of work since the previous time I was there, which is when they were putting in the, I guess they call them girders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had this humongous crane down there. It was the largest crane in New England, positioned in front of the meatpacking place. And I was pleasantly surprised because there'd been a considerable amount of work being done. The side rails are up. You can see the rebar.
Oh, they put the sides up?
Well, they aren't finished.
Mhm.
They're up.
Well, when I was there, it was just the
Just flat.
spans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they've done that on both sides. And I was by there yesterday and they were a lot of digging and this and that going on over there, even in that weather. So, you know, they actually had people on site working. So I just
What day was that?
I was there yesterday. What day was, whatever that was, the
24th?
25th.
I mean, 25th.
Yeah. So, pleasantly surprised, and hopefully they'll get it finished and we can put Tricentennial Park back together again.
Yeah, that's taken a little bit of a beating.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And at one of our meetings, maybe 3 meetings ago, we discussed this, and Jen does a lot of volunteer down there. So we gotta kind of step up a little bit. I have 2 projects I'd like to work on come spring. Number one, only because we're on a time frame, is the town pound. Even though that's maybe not something that falls directly under our jurisdiction.
The cattle pound?
Yeah. Is that we can clean it up. There's some saplings growing in there. Get it looking nice because there's a,
I took those all out last spring with the 4-H club.
you have their back
I know,
and they grow quick.
because of that stupid tree that overhangs it, just,
The rogue tree, you know, we won't call it stupid.
no, it's stupid.
And
It's not
I
native,
think-
it's not native to this area.
it's not actually. 2 years ago, we did wall repair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have even been 3 years ago now.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, which I think is still okay. I don't think, because we were losing that southwest corner.
Mhm.
But Lori stepped right up, had us go over there. We used the property, went around, and it just worked out great. So hopefully that's the first project, to clean that up, get that ready for some events that are planned around town. Visit your local cable station. I'm sure they'll be posting those events for
Or
the
the
or the-
SuttonFourth.com.
or the SuttonFourth.com
Mhm.
for the parade, the anniversary, the Strawberry Fest, to name a few. And the second one would be Tricentennial Park.
Yep.
I mean, just to go down there and do a site visit. Now, Wally, when you were down there, the concerns we had maybe 2 years ago with the breach of the canal thing, how are they, do you feel like they're still treating it pretty good? I noticed there's that service road that goes to the right along the canal next to the bridge. I think there's a piece of property that accesses around the corner.
It's like somebody's driveway there.
Yeah, I think that's
And
what
then
it is.
There is a path, or, I don't know, if it's a four-wheeler could go down there, or you can walk down there to the river.
Mm-hmm.
If you're facing north, I guess.
Mhm,
Be down
right.
there, the bridge is here. The growth, everything, they put back everything where they took out the canal.
Right.
If you noticed
Did a
that. They
fabulous
did a
job.
great job on
Mhm.
that. Just for a little bit of background, as part of this construction project, they were in there looking for, where to set their footings. This is a few years ago, and we got the word, because they didn't, in this, where the canal is, the levee, towpath is all grown over, you know, there are trees and everything else. Well, anyway, somebody went through it with a bulldozer. And so, we pointed this out to the State Historical Commission, and within 24 hours, there were people out here analyzing the problem, and it got fixed. So I was quite impressed with their response and the response of the ultimate vendor, whoever had to come in and fix this thing up. And they've, if you go down there now, you might see there's not quite as many trees growing in this section, but basically they've repaired it.
Mhm.
Wouldn't have any negative comments.
And you're
about it.
familiar with the towpath. I mean, it's about, I'd say 10 feet strong,
Yeah.
high, as a rise. Almost looks like an aqueduct,
Mhm.
a mini aqueduct, but in order to get their equipment on the other side, they just went through. And not understandable, I mean, but after the letter, there was a long letter written. The response was quick, swift, and corrected, and with much apology and proper, so it's like it didn't even happen. You know, and once we're all gone, no one will ever know what happened.
That's right. It was well done.
And so, I guess back to my original question, do you
Except
feel
for the
like
tapes on record.
Oh, yeah, except if someone went back 50 years in this cable and looked it up. You feel like they're still respecting the area?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Any comments on the project? Okay. All right, thank you, Wally, for that update. We always miss your clear and concise and,
You're reporting from the scenes.
yeah. We're gonna give you like a portable camera and stuff.
Yeah.
This is
We'll
Wally
send you-
Baker reporting from the Blackstone
See,
Street
that's
Bridge.
why I want you to live on the other side of 146.
Anyway, and it's also nice to be retired,
Yeah, that's true. Semi-retired.
Yeah, mhm.
all you young retirees.
Yeah. Here we are.
Okay, so no other comments on that? Any other open discussion that you would like to bring up? Anyone? Okay, I met with Jen to go over those certificates for Manchog. The ball's getting big and bouncing a lot, so I wanna take the bull by the horns. I talked to her about it. I found the ones that they use for Sutton Center. I did find it. It used the Rufus Putnam monument at the corner of 8 lots in Boston Road. But obviously, we wouldn't wanna use that for Manchog, so maybe you and I can come up with something that's appropriate for there with Jen.
It's gonna be an etching of the mill or something.
Something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
you know,
you'd
I
have to
mean,
use that, yeah.
something that you think is respectable, because I wouldn't know down there. I mean, I understand the history of the place and I appreciate it, but I'm not, you know, a Manchogionian, if that's the word.
It is now.
No. So I can't say, okay, this is because someone might say, no, it's this you should have. So let's sit and maybe we can,
Don't forget we're the home of the fruit of the loom, so,
That's right.
you know,
Well,
make use
I mean,
of something like that.
I can put a
that label.
nice pair of undies or that label in there or something.
Superimposed.
I'm not
over
sure how
the
that'll
bill.
go over. Sorry, Jim. But you know what I'm saying, you're right, that is, and that was it's a big contribution in the Industrial Revolution down there. All right, so that I wanna kinda wrap up, I'd like to have that wrapped up within 2 meetings, at least something in place where we know we wanna give, and then we can go to printing and figure that out.
Yep.
And I think before we talked about the parade with the marshal, we were gonna do some sort of thing, but now that he's the marshal, maybe we'll just do a little present, you know, like a plaque or something. We have a little time. Oh yeah, I gotta write that down. So, my pen's done.
You wanna present it to him that day?
I don't know. We can talk. It's gonna be a busy day.
Yeah.
There's a horse guy that's gonna be doing a lot of stuff around.
We just got the Sudbury Fife and Drum signed up
They're
today.
good guys.
Oh,
If you tell them, I know them, I'll call them for you. They'll do a nice job. Al.
Actually, that
So
parade
you
is
use
getting
it as a
longer and
reference?
longer.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay, so Manchog, Certs, with Michelle, and Jen, and then Cert, or is it Pearson? No,
Rudy Pearson,
yeah.
Yep.
Rudolph Pearson.
Alright, I gotta check that place next to the courthouse. They make those things. Alright. Any other open discussions? I asked Jen if she needed our assistance in anything. She said she's got a lot on her plate, but right now she's pumping along. So I told her, please reach out to any one of us, and we have our on-the-scene Wally that can be contacted in a moment's notice.
He needs a badge.
Yeah, we should get it. We're gonna get you one of those yellow vests that say
Oh, yeah.
Historical Commission.
Unzip it.
Yeah,
Historical.
yeah, you drop it.
Yeah.
Unzip the other side, it says planning board.
Okay. We're very, we all get along. There's a good commission. Okay. How about old business? And that was probably old business that I brought up with Manchog and, the certs. Okay, how about new business? New business. No new business. But we do have announcements and correspondence.
Can't wait.
Announcement is your conflict of interest law is due. I know it hasn't been officially told to me by the town of Sutton, but you go online every year. If you're an employee, even if you're an unpaid employee of the state or a volunteer, you're considered an employee, so therefore you need to do the conflict of interest law, which I have completed.
See that?
I did it with mine at work, so I have mine. But I'm asking that you guys,
I did one last year for the planning.
yeah, so now you gotta do one, if you do it for planning, I think you're okay.
That was I'll go ask.
It has to be done, so,
I just did.
So what site do we go into?
that's a good question.
Oh.
You have to go to Mass Gov?
Yeah, I'm not
Mass
sure,
dot
so,
gov.
is it Mass?
Yeah, but I can't remember exactly.
So you can try mass.gov site, and then just put in conflict of interest law, training. However, the town of Sutton will probably have their own, direct
Link?
link.
Mhm.
If you get in a jam, let me know, because I can always copy the one from the state, which is the same. It just asks you in there, are you an elected employee, or are you a paid or volunteer? So it's two separate tests, kind of. They're all the same.
Yeah.
Basically don't take anything over $50 from anyone. Okay, that's the first one. So, MassGov, okay, next is a correspondence from Chris Scully from, Mass Historic, local preservation update as of January. So they come late in the month, so I won't have this month's till next meeting. Let me just see, we have a workshop on municipal preservation plans, which is March 19th from 10 to 2, held in Framingham. And I have copies of these if you need one. The MHC Preservation Awards, the deadline was February 19th, so if you nominated Paul, you're done. Guide to Building Code. You can go online, check that frequently asked brochure. calendar of events. Workshop on historic preservation plans for cities and towns is March 19th. If you need to go online, it'll give you more information about it. March 20th is a workshop on the adaptive reuse of historic buildings, organized by Western Mass Historical Commission Coalition. March 22nd, Mass Preservation Projects Fund Round 25, which we already decided at last meeting or 2 meetings ago that we weren't gonna apply 2 years in a row. March 23rd, 2019 is Vernacular Architectural Forum of New England Chapter Annual Meeting at Old Sturbridge Village. Vernacular Architecture. And in September 20th, the State Historic Preservation Conference is being held in Plymouth. All these and others are online at Mass Historic. And I have a copy here if anyone would like. I have a few copies. Oh, my pen stinks tonight. Okay. That's done. That's done. Wow. Oh,
I have one thing.
Wally has one thing.
Okay. Bumped into Jamie Moran, who's the owner of the Free Grace Marble Farm, 63-acre site in Sibley Road, corner of Sibley and Burbank, and he was unable to be here tonight, but he wanted me to extend an invitation to the commission to, if we could arrange a time and go over there and walk the property.
Oh, that'd be nice. He's been here before. He sat before this commission a few times.
And, you know, it's sometimes obviously mutually convenient. I know I've been by there numerous times. I've never really,
I wouldn't mind walking around there without the idea of chasing a cow,
you know.
steer.
That was the last time I walked around there,
Yeah.
and I live just down the street.
So,
All right.
I learned
course,
a lot
all-
of this town chasing down those steers.
well, although he's got a bunch of sheep that are preggers, so, you know, I guess we gotta go pretty soon, because if it gets to be that time that they're gonna be giving birth, he probably won't have time to be escorting us around. You know?
What'd he say, in the springtime he wanted to do something, or no?
Probably in the spring, I think it'd be better than running around slipping and sliding.
Well, there's
Depends on the snow cover.
Yeah, and then how much muck you slide, you can.
You know, how money is, I don't know, we can sort of arrange it with him.
Okay. Yeah, he's up to Polly's, so
Yeah,
next time I see him, or one of us see him,
okay.
maybe we can come up with something. I'd love to do that, because it's a nice piece of property, and he had some concerns with the visual impact behind the property when they were gonna put in that indoor soccer.
Right.
And he handled it well. Sometimes, you know, passion gets caught up and it gives a lot of emotion, and sometimes it's best just to wait and see, because most of the, you know, those things are bigger than they really appear to be. So he was good, he handled it well, and it worked out for them.
Everything worked out
Mhm.
on that.
So, at least for now. And we appreciate what he's done in town.
Yep.
Okay.
He's made a big contribution. I have one other item, it's not Sutton specific, but just for general interest.
Mm-hmm.
Last Saturday, my wife and I, we went to the Mass State Police Museum and Learning Center, which is
South
on-
Grafton.
in
Mhm.
South Grafton. And I know they're open Saturdays and I think Tuesdays or something, but we could contact them. I'd say it's a worthwhile take. They have artifacts and memorabilia since the state
Mhm.
police were founded in like 1865.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who's into motorcycles, they have an impressive collection that they seem to have an overflow from New Hampshire, but they must have about 8 or 10 of them. Some of them are so heavy, if they ever went over, I don't know how you'd ever get back up. So just as a general, they're right on Route 122. You go 122A to 122, go down about a quarter of a mile, and they're on the right.
Did you ask them, is that their permanent location, or is, while they redo Grafton? So they used to be in the old Grafton headquarters, which
Right,
was
correct.
Grafton
40,
Center,
Right.
but there was a fire in there, so they had to relocate. And I'm not sure if they're relocating back, because they still have stuff at Grafton.
They still do, yes. I didn't get into that schedule
Mm-hmm.
or the plan as to what they were what their overall plans were.
Okay.
One thing they have, that I really, it's kind of like everyone's seen the Rockwell painting of the state trooper, or the kid at the soda bar. Well, they've got a mannequin of the trooper, you know, and they got the little stools, so if you had
A little kid?
a little kid, you could park them right up there, and they've got behind this, they've made it as close as possible
That's
to what the backdrop was. As they said, all they need now is some fake pies. They actually get
Yeah.
to see the stand that the pies were in.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty cool. So that's as right as you go in.
Excellent. I think the best way to find out when they're open, only because they're going through this thing, is to go to the door and it's posted on their door.
Correct.
It's usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, but sometimes it's every other weekend.
Mhm.
There's some open hours, because I've gone down there a few times with them and I go in and they've been closed, unfortunately. And
Well, this was 12 to 3 on Saturday. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think
it's every other Saturday.
maybe it is, yeah.
Because the young lady who runs it is a retired trooper, I believe, and she's in the North Shore,
Okay.
so she has to drive all the way down.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you, Wally.
You're welcome.
Any other correspondence? All right. Any motion?
I move we adjourn.
Okay, being 7:32, motion on the floor to adjourn. Seconded by Paul. All those in favor of adjourning? Aye.
Aye.
Opposing, none. Adjourn, 7:32. Okay. I wish we could give you better